Why, hello out there.
Keep going.
Why, hello out there. And welcome to Two Dudes on the Radio.
Where the world is crazy, but luckily, so are we.
And so is this radio station. My name is Eddie, boys.
And I'm Shaner. Eddie, why don't you explain to him why we're a little off right now?
We broke the system.
Yeah, the entire system seems to be resting on this one 20-year-old power strip sitting beneath my desk. And I plugged my laptop charger into it, jostled it around a little bit, broke the whole thing. So,
if you were listening just like a minute or two ago, we're terribly sorry.
yeah,
It
if
never
you had
happened.
a panic attack, don't worry, so did we.
However, if you're listening on YouTube, you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And we can add in some static right before to give you that experience.
If you really,
Silence for 3 seconds.
I can show
loud
them
radio.
all the recordings that failed last semester.
Yeah.
That'll be
Boom.
the experience right there.
Right, there you go.
So welcome to the show. If you're not already, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, where I'm finally putting up like different photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Besides just me promoting this thing like twice a week.
Yeah, and we are getting feedback now. My dad and a couple of our friends have been very good about giving us
know.
feedback. Like,
They actually stepped it up. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it because I know I sometimes I control the social, so it's not really Shaner's fault. But if it takes me a while, I'm sorry. I go incognito for like the whole weekend, and then like I got school, so like sometimes I forget to check. So I'm sorry, Shaner. It's okay.
I
Stop
don't
messing
think
with the
it's
wire.
okay.
It'll be okay.
I have to move it. It's like a bomb over here waiting to go off.
All right, well let's just jump into it while Sheener's having a panic attack. Quietly.
Just a little bit. Okay, move on. Moving on.
Top 5 in the Hive. This might be my favorite list of the whole like
It's
semester. I know the
definitely-
music one I said was going to be my favorite, but this one's pretty good.
This one's the most unique. This is what this section was built for.
Things that we want to set on fire, but can't for various reasons.
Yeah. Now, there were a lot of things I could have put on this list, but I had to remake it because some of the things might be a bit troublesome on the air.
Or too real.
Or too real.
Or would contain consequences with
Yeah.
university faculty.
Why would you say that?
What? There's like, how many faculty members? There's like 100.
Now someone's going to feel targeted.
I'm targeting you, Matt Pioch.
Yeah,
Sheener's coming
yeah.
after you for
We're
that
going
one
to burn
time.
down your apartment.
For that one time you wrote him up for throwing snowball against there.
If you're listening to this and you're an officer, we are not actually threatening to burn anything down. We promise.
yeah, disclaimer. This
It's
is
a list. It's a joke.
I actually don't like setting things on fire. I just like imagining that I'm setting things on fire.
I do like setting things on fire, but I do so within the legal and good limits.
Right.
Like campfires.
Right. I'm sure you haven't set anything else on fire.
Never.
All right,
Never, ever.
moving on before we get too off topic. Shaner, number 5. Let's go.
Number 5 is a weird one, but I have to say plastic. Now you may be going,
What do you mean you
what?
can do that?
You can, but you shouldn't.
Should it and can are two different things.
Have you ever set plastic on fire?
I have.
I did once. I took a whole bunch of garbage that I cleaned up from my room. I was like, how do I get rid of this stuff? Set it on fire. I ended up causing the biggest, ugliest black cloud you've ever seen and just left melted plastic residue. I'm going to count it as a can't because it doesn't go away.
Fair
I
enough.
wish you could completely
Okay.
set it on fire and get rid of it.
Yeah, fair enough. You should like just burn trash in outer space.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. There's no oxygen. Forget it. Not possible.
Breaking news. There is no oxygen in space.
All right. My number 5, plain and simple. Just a wood cabin.
Yeah.
I think it might look cool.
Yeah, it could look cool.
But I shouldn't because
You know,
it's a building.
someone took time to build that.
And usually they're in forests, so like that probably would cause a forest fire.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't, but I like it. It seems cool.
It seems like it might be fun.
Number
Number
4.
4. This is going to be a weird one, but old schoolwork. I always want to
Okay,
get rid of
okay.
old schoolwork, like old papers and stuff, but I always have this hidden fear that if I do, I'm going to need it. And if I burn it, I'll never have it again. So I literally have like a container in my attic of
Mhm.
old school papers that I probably will never need again and should probably burn to get rid of them. But I can't bring myself to do it. I think just recently I finally got to the point where I could start burning some stuff. But even then, I still get nervous. I'm like, what if I need this one random study guide from my one test in New Testament from 3 years ago? I might need this someday.
You might call to question the validity of that answer, Shane.
Right? So old schoolwork. That's my number 4.
All right. That's a good choice. All right. My number 4, most mobile games, which
Oh yeah,
the reason why I can't is because
they're mobile and it's digital.
digital. I can't literally,
You
but
could burn the servers,
I guess I could. But then
you still
like,
can't. Like it's illegal. It's called arson, and it's wrong.
well, right. And also, like, I'm sure the servers also like house other things. Or no, would they have their own servers?
They probably have dedicated servers for
Alright.
each game.
So, all right, the servers. We'll say this game servers because don't have servers, you can't play the game.
Yeah.
I really don't like most mobile games. There's a few exceptions. Like
Yeah.
Brawlhalla, that's a nice game
That seems
that
like a nice
just
game.
happens to be on an app.
But most of them are just false advertising wrapped in stupidity.
So just, I don't like them. There's no purpose. They just suck a lot of time. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many other better games and things you can do better than mobile
Yeah.
games.
There's so many things you can do better than playing mobile games.
It's true. So mobile games, my number 4. Shader, number 3, go!
Number 3, Ladybugs. I hate them.
What?
I hate them.
How can you hate ladybugs?
They are despicable, and they are the bane of my existence, right up there with possums.
What?
Yeah, okay. So the problem is they're little and they get everywhere.
Okay.
And if you live in a house in where I do, where where anywhere where it gets cold outside and your house is reasonably warm enough inside, if there's a hole for these things to get in, they will get in and they will get everywhere. I once had it happen. They were all over my bed, all over my window, all over my ceilings, the walls, my blankets, my pillow, my ears. I had one crawl in my ear. Until that happens to you, you won't know the true hatred I have for ladybugs.
Huh.
I hate them. They're despicable. They're little monsters. But I probably cannot burn them because A, probably a little unethical, and also they probably do something for the environment. I don't know what. I don't much care.
Also, I'd like to see you catch like a bunch of ladybugs and then burn them. Like, the
It would
amount
be
of effort.
easy.
How did? Oh, because they all go in your house.
Yeah,
Right.
there's like 500 alone just in my bedroom.
Interesting.
I would just have to take a bucket or like a container and a flat surface to scrape them off my ceiling and boom, into the bucket.
It
Toss
happens-
some oil in there and some gasoline and close it, set it on fire.
You thought about this?
No, I haven't actually. This is all off the cusp, ladybugs. They're terrible. I
All right.
despise them.
That happened twice, maybe once in like that stone house that I grew up in, but not to the degree that you're talking about. Like it'd be like a few here and there. You'd find them in like the folds of like clothes or like curtains, but not to the extent you're talking
Now,
about.
if you're an entomologist, bug scientist, and you love ladybugs, because I'm sure they do something important, great, good for you. Have all of my ladybugs. I won't burn them. You can have them. So if you're an entomologist and you want ladybugs, hit me up. I'll get you some. And you can do with them whatever you want. Just get them out of my house.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't realize you were that passionate about ladybugs.
I hate them.
All right. So my number 3. I don't know if it's more exciting or less exciting. Jim Gallucci.
Jim Gallucci?
Yes, I want to set him on fire.
I think it would be an interesting time.
That's what Jim's a student here. Pretty sure he has ADHD, right? I'm pretty
I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure he does. He told me that. So he's a bit on the crazy side,
A bit.
for the lack of a better term.
Yeah,
And
there's
so
a better term.
I
A
feel
lot
like if I
crazy.
set him on fire, I get a lot of interesting things.
A bunch of
say-
sarcastic remarks.
Yeah,
Something along the lines of, well, that sucks. Just said just like
some
that.
screaming running around. I think it would be entertaining. But
I don't even think he'd scream and run around. I think he'd make a sarcastic remark first of all, give you a look that just says, "Hey, wow, you set me on fire. Good for you." And then he'd put out the fire and move on.
not if I kept him on fire.
Continually on fire? Then
That's
yeah, eventually
generally
he might
how
scream.
fire.
Well, no, if you just like set part of him on fire, you put it out.
Chinner, let's go big or go home.
Okay, fine. If you're
We're
going
setting
big,
him up full ablaze, my friend.
well then yeah, he would probably scream, run around, put the fire out.
Yeah.
And then scream at you, and then eventually make some sarcastic remark about it.
Probably, yeah. See, like somewhere there's gonna be some sarcastic remark, and I'll be happy.
That's Jim for you.
Yeah. So that's my number 3, Jim Gallucci.
My number 2. Buildings. In general.
In general,
Different buildings.
that's kind of a boring one, but all right.
You said wooden house. It's
Yeah,
the same
I said
thing.
wooden cabin, very specific.
Yeah, but see, a lot of the building, like, how often do you see a wooden cabin? I'm just talking about buildings. Like, you see those firefighters that get to go in and, like, tactically burn down houses, that would be super fun because you get to figure out what exactly makes a house burn. And if you're a fan of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, like I am, arson is a big part of it. It's always fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be interesting to burn down at least one building in my life, but that's usually frowned upon unless you're a firefighter or a criminal. But it's still frowned upon.
You should just buy like a really, really old house and just set it ablaze.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
You're not.
think I actually think there's rules against that. Like,
well, as long as you don't have insurance on it.
no, I don't think. I
No?
think legally you're not allowed to burn down a house on purpose. I think that's still arson. That's
Interesting.
why they have firefighters that do that.
But
So that every random person from 3rd Street isn't going to go and burn down their house randomly and set someone else's house on fire.
But no,
I
it's
think-
your property. You own the house.
Yeah, but I don't think you're allowed to set it on fire. You own a gun, that doesn't mean you're allowed to shoot someone randomly.
Yeah, but burning your own house down doesn't harm anyone.
Until it does.
Okay,
You can
fine.
control it for a certain period of time, but there comes a point if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to set somebody else's house on fire.
Okay,
pretty
well,
sure-
you'd have to like make sure it's far enough away.
Well, yeah,
Like,
but I'm
obviously
pretty
don't
sure
do
there are
events.
laws. I'm pretty sure there are laws.
All right, fine. All right, whatever. All right.
Because I had my family owned a house, and I think we talked about like getting rid of it by burning it down. But there were laws. Not we weren't going to burn it
Right,
down.
right.
But I think I looked into it then, and there were laws about whether or not you could actually burn down your own house. I think there's a
Huh.
law preventing it, at least one. Pretty sure.
Interesting.
I'll look into that.
The more you know. Cool.
Your number. Oh wait,
It's your two.
you're number 2.
My number 2 is a pine tree.
Oh, pine tree.
You know why specifically a pine tree? Because they have like those pine cones.
Uh huh.
Well, okay, sorry.
Pine trees.
Pine
have
trees
pine
with
cones?
pine cones.
Oh,
'Cause not
okay.
all of them
That's
have
really
pine
specific.
Cones. Sorry, that's really specific. Because I don't know if you ever set a pine cone on fire,
No,
but most of them actually like they create like a really popping,
Ooh,
with a
really?
lot of popping noises. Yes.
That would be fun to hear.
And also, like, it's fun to watch, like, depending on what pine tree you set on fire, but, like, the needles on fire.
Yeah.
It just,
Maybe it'll smell really good.
it's a nice,
Or
that
maybe,
too,
not,
it's a
or
nice
maybe
effect.
not. I don't know.
I've done it before. It smells okay. It smells like sap.
Oh, sap
It's not
isn't
the
too
most appeasing smell, but it's
bad.
okay.
It could be worse. You could be burning what I'm going to put for my number 1.
Oh, also, it creates a lot of smoke
Oh, yeah.
as well because the needles have, like, most of the water.
Yeah, most
And
green stuff like that, yeah, it does.
So it's going to create a lot of smoke. So if you set a whole tree on fire, it's going to be a lot of popping, a lot of smoking.
really inexperienced then. I said, so it's going to be an experience.
It's going to be an experience. Exactly.
Right.
Have a drink or two,
You
sit
know?
out on a lawn chair,
That's probably
the-
that's probably also illegal.
enjoy the fireworks show. Probably.
But you'll go to jail having a good time.
Well, that's why it's on things I can set on fire, but I can't.
that's
for
true.
various reasons.
That's true.
That's why I chose it. So yeah, number 2, a pine tree with pine cones.
My number 1 is going to be
Da-da-da.
super simple. Garbage.
Really?
All garbage.
You did plastic.
That's just plastic.
Okay.
That doesn't have to be garbage. That could be plastic anything.
All
This
right.
specifically is garbage. You can't because there's a
Okay.
lot of stuff in there you can't burn necessarily.
Okay.
It'll cause lots of problems. My brothers, their infinite wisdom, once tried to burn a aerosol spray paint can.
Oh.
Or it was
I've
either
always
that
wanted to
or
do
it was a propane can.
Oh, that's
They
even
just
worse.
got mixed in with the garbage. And they'd thrown it in and they noticed it, but there's not much you can do at that point, so they had to go get away from it. And it exploded. But, burning things is such an efficient way to get rid of them. Because, you leave trash out, and I don't know if you've ever left trash out in a black plastic garbage can. It gets awful, especially in the
Yes.
heat. And the black absorbs it, and the plastic keeps it sealed, and you
Right.
open it up and you want to die.
Yeah.
You want to gag and you want to throw up. So if burning things, it would smell awful, but as long as you're far enough away, it's gone. It's going to be little ashes, and you can just take the ashes and spread them around, or, I don't know, fertilize a garden with them. I think you can do that.
I mean, depending on what type of garbage you're talking about. If it's like
Yeah.
plastic, no. Cardboard, maybe. Like fruits and
Mhm.
certain. Let me rephrase. Certain types of plants you can fertilize with ash. Not all of them. I would
So
think.
let me rephrase my thing to all garbage, not just
Oh,
garbage.
then no,
all
definitely
garbage.
not. Then
That it's just such an efficient way to get rid of things. You have a hole,
Yeah.
in your house, you just throw it down and incinerate it. But there's dangers in that. so
you might
can't do
cause global warming to increase.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
you know.
We don't want to do that, so that's why my number 1 garbage. That's my top thing. I wish I could just burn, get rid of, but I can't. I know it's not as amazing as you were expecting, but that's my truth. Ladybugs, garbage, buildings, paper, plastic.
My number one's gonna make up for your
Oh, boy.
lackluster. A river full of oil.
Ah,
Because you have like the fire like dancing
Right.
on top of the river with the
Yeah.
water. I think it would look really cool.
it would look really cool. Why can't you? That's actually a thing. I think don't they do that?
Well, one that had to put the oil in the water.
Well, yes,
that in
that's
of
true.
itself is illegal.
Well, necessarily you don't have to. Oil companies already do that. Hello, BP much?
I'm pretty sure they don't set it on fire. I'm pretty sure they clean it up in other ways. Because you
They
could also
shouldn't
like
just set it on fire. I mean, I don't see the reason why not.
Well, I'm sure also
Fossil
carbon
fuel,
dioxide
I
again.
guess. Global warming.
global
I
warming
guess.
again.
Hey, global warming just takes all the fun out of things. Like,
Yeah,
how many things you can't burn because of global warming?
yeah. It's a shame.
What a buzzkill.
Yeah, so we're full of oil. Honorable mention, actually.
Honorable mention.
And I kind of, the reason why I didn't put it on this list is because I've already kind of tried doing this.
Mhm.
My beard. Yeah, shout out to Morgan Kelly because he helped me try to achieve
Of
this
course,
dream.
it would be Morgan.
Well, okay,
Kelly.
hold on. So this was inspiration from Blackbeard, and Ed Blackbeard's first name was Edward. So like
Oh.
that's me. So like we're basically the same at this
Yeah,
point.
you know, you're related.
And so I forgot how I got on that train of thought, but like me and Morgan decided we're gonna set my beard on fire. And this is when like I had like a bushy one like my freshman year, and this thing was out there. I don't think you even knew me during my freshman year.
I don't think I did either, and I want to know the thought process leading up to this.
I forget the reason why we decided to do it, but we figured like, all right, we'll take some rubbing alcohol and we'll throw it on there. And the rubbing alcohol, like we'll put it out like right immediately after, but the rubbing alcohol should make it so that it burns, the fire burns it and not my beard. And it would be like for a second. Don't give me that look.
Everything. I have stupid ideas, okay? I am the king of stupid ideas that don't work. But what the heck?
It worked in our theoretically it works in our minds. Like we put it on for like a second or two and then we put it out. Simple as that. There's snow on the ground. If it got out of control, I just dive in the snow. We did it. It sort of worked. It burned through the rubbing alcohol a lot quicker than we realized, so it singed
Yeah.
part of my beard.
Really?
And to be honest, it was only like a section of it. It wasn't like the entire thing. It was just like a small part.
Did you know Holly at
to
this
test
point?
it out? Oh yeah, I knew Holly at this point.
Did she advise against it?
She did, but we did it without her.
Yeah, of course.
Well, she wasn't around.
How did?
Those
Wow.
were the crazier days. I wouldn't pull that off now, but
I wouldn't pull it off ever.
Gosh, just about a bit of rubbing alcohol, man.
The idea that the words "set my beard on fire" entered your
You
brain
could be
at all.
Blackbeard.
I have never seen a depiction of Blackbeard with his beard on fire.
Yeah, he used to rap. What was it? He used to wrap fuses in his beard and set them on fire to intimidate his opponents. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's I'm pretty sure that's where the idea came from. And the fact that both of our names were Edward. I think that's how we came to that conclusion that we should set my beard on fire.
And
but
of course, it
that
would
was a
have been
while
Morgan
ago.
Kelly.
Yeah, Morgan. If you're listening to this, actually, I don't think he even knows about the show.
Wow,
if
really?
you're
It's
listening
Morgan.
to
Come
this,
on, Morgan.
or even Holly, you should tell me. Like, put in the comments like how we got that idea. I think that's how we got
Morgan, listen to our show.
it. Anyways, that was a fun segment. That was really
That was wow. We learned a lot.
All right, so student of the week. Since I'm gonna name Jim Gallucci student of the week, since
Yeah,
I
of
kind of
course.
rudely set him on fire in my mind. Good job, Jim.
We love you, Jim.
You did it.
Keep doing all the stuff you do. You know what it is.
Well, maybe not all of it, but most of it. You should
Most
probably
of
keep
do most of
Do
what
most
you're
of
doing.
All right, so next section, quenching your appetite. Okay, that was.
You started it.
I did like little nibbly noise. You like, it's like stuff like that. Okay, anyways, quenching appetite. It's nothing to do with food. It's an app called Telegram.
Telegram.
Yes, have you heard of Telegram?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
No, it's not actually Telegram. It's an app called Telegram.
I got
Okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
I got that.
Cool. So it's a messaging app, pretty much. It's been growing over the years. I've had it for like almost 4 years now. All right, would it be 4? No, this would be like my 4th-ish year that I've had it, or something like that. I've had it for a while. So think it's an independent messaging app, so it's not connected to like any social media or anything like that.
Good. Independence, good.
It's pretty much a better Facebook Messenger, though.
Okay.
I can guarantee it's a better Facebook Messenger.
But what separates it from my texting app?
Wow. That's a good question. Because we're going to dive into that right now.
Oh, good. Okay, I was a little...
I'm just not... So, first of all, you can get this app for all your devices. Apple, Android,
that's good.
Your laptops. You can get it on your laptops. And getting it on your laptops is especially good if you use it for work. That's what I use it for. I use it for, like, freelancing. For when I write for Rapzilla. Like, we have a Telegram app, and then we put like, photos and stuff on there. It's a lot easier than just emailing it back and forth. It's really helpful if you're using it for work. So what you do is you sign in with your number. All right? And then you add like a username, and then that's basically how you sign in. And then it also keeps it asks permission to access your contacts, which you should, because whenever someone goes on Telegram that is in your contacts, it'll let you know that a person has joined. It'll automatically add them to like your friend list on Telegram.
That's a bit concerning.
How so?
I don't know if I want everyone from my contacts on my Telegram.
I mean, this is true. That's true.
Is it more of a social media messaging app?
No. It is a messaging system. So think Facebook Messenger. Simple as that.
Why would I use this as opposed to I can text anyone on my phone right now?
Well, you don't have to pay for it. It is free. And so, like, if you have like a messaging, if you don't have an unlimited plan, which I know some people don't,
yeah, that makes sense.
It's great for that because you don't have to pay for anything.
Right, that makes sense.
And use any minutes. Let's see what else. It's also good for like if you're trying to text with someone between like Android and iPhone, which you can do, but it allows for all the features that you could do with Apple plus Apple that you couldn't do with Apple and Android.
Gotcha.
So it kind of like levels the playing field in that way.
Levels the playing field. Got
it. In those regards, there's also a bunch of like little, excuse me, a bunch of other features that. Excuse me, let me rephrase. There's a bunch of other features that are in this thing, which most of them I don't use, but they can be useful, especially if you use this thing a lot. So we're gonna jump into it a little bit. You can't make calls through it.
Can or can't?
You can.
Okay.
Make calls through
it's
it.
Getting better and better.
So again, you don't have to use your minutes. I'm pretty sure you don't have to use your minutes.
I
have an unlimited plan, so like I don't know actually if it does or not, but I'm assuming based on what I've heard, it doesn't.
Well, that would be good.
Let's see. You can kind of do your basic like Apple or Android type thing. You can set notifications for different kinds of chats, or like for specific people, that sort of thing. They have like these sticker collections.
Ooh, stickers! I love stickers.
Like like those stickers you can get like on the Apple.
Right.
There's a bunch of like unique sticker collections for that. I don't really use that, but they're there if you want them. Hope you do. Let's see. You can only use one at a time, though. You can't just have like all these stickers in one point. So that's where it kind of isn't as good as like the Apple messaging. There's actually a lot of color customization, a lot more.
Okay, see, I like color customization.
It's more so than Facebook Messenger, I believe. I didn't compare the two, but it's pretty good. They have some presets, but then you can also change like the color, like what color combinations you want by like the hexadecimal form.
Yeah, I do love color customizing my Facebook Messenger. I used to do it all the time.
Well, this thing lets you customize it to a T, pretty much.
I do love colors.
You can also, so like the background of like the chat walls, like for iPhones, it's like white. Right. I don't know if Android might do this, but you also change like the background, so you can change it to any color, a photo, anything like that.
Just a photo. I'm gonna text you, and it's just gonna be a photo of my face behind all our text messages.
You could. Well, it's unique for you, and it's unique for me, so you can put something on different.
Okay, so you can't see what I put there.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, that takes the fun out of it.
I mean, we could both say that. You'd be like, oh, hey,
I want full control over what people see as a phone. That's half the fun. It's half the fun of Facebook Messenger is arguing what color the chat's going to be. I used to do that way too much.
Here's a big one. You can change the app icon.
Oh, really?
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. There's
especially not on an Apple phone.
There's around like 6 different ways you can change the app color. Sorry, not the icon. You can't like customize it yourself, but they have different options.
Huh, that's weird. I've never seen that, especially on an Apple product.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. You have to check them out. I mean, they're not like too crazy of a difference between the two. There's more just like simple design changes. But they're all generally like the blue and white, or like a darker blue, or a different shade, or whatever like that. You can put it on day mode, night mode, stuff like that, hybrid modes. Pretty basic stuff there. There's also, you can put text in chat folders. You can create chat folders. Now, I never used this, so I don't know how like useful this
So you could have a
is.
folder for all your friend messages and all your family messages.
Yeah, so I believe, again, I've never used this. You can basically, from my understanding, put different, like make different folders and then put messages in that folder.
See, that's helpful.
So if you need to like save like a message, or like say your friend texts you a recipe, you can just throw that in your friend folder.
Okay, see
for
that
that
makes
person.
that's pretty cool.
Or you can just label a folder as recipe and then throw that message in the recipe.
just
folder.
individual messages too.
Yeah, you can do individual messages. It doesn't have to be
see,
like a
that's
whole chat.
Even better.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't Apple on this already?
See, again, I've never used it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
that
but
sounds
again,
cool. Why isn't Apple getting on this?
Third parties
pasting
messaging.
things. I'm tired of copy pasting things.
and then last week you just changed language, which I mean is pretty typical stuff.
Right.
You speak in Bangladesh if you want.
Bangladesh.
If that's even the
I
language.
love texting in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
A little known passion of mine is the Bangladesh language. I just text in it all day long.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like you can. Oh, something I forgot about. You can't text from like a Telegram, from Telegram to like an Android iMessage or whatever.
Mhm.
It has to be from Telegram to Telegram.
Telegram, that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much the messaging app. Pretty simple, but it has like a lot of different features that I think makes it like a superior messaging app,
Yeah.
especially to Facebook Messenger. Because let's face it, the only reason you have Facebook at this point is to see funny videos and use Facebook Messenger.
I love Facebook sometimes because it helps me connect with people that
Mhm.
don't necessarily have other social medias, like my grandparents or my family,
Yeah.
or that one friend I knew like 12 years ago.
Yeah. See, most of my friends, they've just moved on from Facebook at this point. So the only reason I'm on there at this point is for family, because that's where they all usually are.
I don't get why Facebook is always seen as such a dated social media platform.
I think, well, because it's like, it's where the old people go, because they think it's cool now.
I think it's cool. Are you calling me old?
Maybe.
Yeah, you know what?
You professor.
At this point, I take it as a compliment.
Okay. Sorry, drinking some good old Mountain Dew right there.
Oh yeah, you gotta love
Live
Mountain
stream
Dew.
of Green County. What were we just talking about?
Telegram.
Oh yeah, Telegram. So yeah, that's Telegram. I think it's pretty good. It's getting more and more popular. So I would definitely jump on it.
You find all these cool third-party indie apps.
Oh, the coolest thing that actually this thing introduced before Apple brought this was voice messages.
Really?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they did it before Apple did. And the thing is, the messages stay because, like, you know how on Apple, like, you kind of listen to it and it disappears and goes away.
I thought it stayed.
I mean, I guess you could set it like that. For me, it disappears. I guess you could set it like that. In Telegram, the messages always stays. You can like rewind it and like play through it, scrub through it. It's great. I never knew the beauty of voice messaging until I've gone on Telegram. It's fantastic. I love it.
I never
It's
really
great.
preferred it.
It's great if you're trying to explain something that would just take way too long in a text, or if you're trying to walk and you don't want to take the time to actually like text out a message, you can just like talk on your phone. It's really nice. Love voice messaging. There's also like video messaging you could do that lasts like, I don't know, I think you can do it for like a minute, maybe
So
two.
it's Snapchat.
Well, sort of. So like you can, it's kind of like a voice message except video.
Yeah,
Something like
I
a
know what
live
video messaging is.
Okay.
I am in the 21st century.
So yeah.
You think I am some caveman?
Yeah.
Digital caveman over here.
It does like a lot of things that the apps now, some of the apps do now, and some of them they
What's a
just kind of
text
copy.
message? What's a phone call?
You know what? Shut up.
Ever heard of letters?
Shut up! Leave me alone!
Talking to each other?
It's a cool app. You should get it and get rid of Facebook
What's an
Messenger. Unless you need Facebook, then you might as well just keep it. But yeah, it's a good app, especially for business. Like I said, it's good for business.
Everyone get Telegram. Connect with us.
Well,
Don't connect with us.
Like I said, it's for
we don't want to
business.
hear
I
from
don't-
you. That's what Eddie thinks. I said connect with us, and he went, he doesn't want to hear from you.
Again, Facebook Messenger, like, which we're on. If you want to follow our account, and then you can just message us there.
Yeah, send us
There you go.
messages.
All right.
No
Yeah.
matter what you want to say. You can say anything, we'd read it. We may not talk about it, but we'll read it.
All right. Yeah, that took longer than I thought. All right.
Perfect
Next
timing.
section for the history of.
The history of.
Take it away, Shaner.
Now, this might be commonplace, but I bet you could not guess when it started. Our topic today is the department store Target. Because I was going to do Walmart, but everyone knows the history of Walmart. Sam building his company, ground up. Everyone knows about that. In what was it, Texas, I think?
Right, yes.
Yeah, it's a common thing.
Definitely.
But
that, yes.
take one guess as to when the basic idea for Target, it wasn't always called Target, but take a guess when the guy who founded it built this idea.
I have no idea.
You get one guess.
I'm going to guess it's extremely old. I'm going to say 1940s. No, 50s.
No, you're not even close.
Oh.
It is 1881. 1881, George D. Dayton decides to explore the growing Midwest markets. After several years in banking and real estate, Dayton decides Minneapolis offers the strongest opportunities for growth.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Oh, Minneapolis. Sorry.
Minneapolis. Now, he decides that his new store is going to have the belief in the higher ground of stewardship. Now, obviously, if you've ever you go to a Walmart and you go to a Target, obviously there's a big difference there. I think Target does have that higher ground. Now, what did it start off as? Dayton's Dry Goods Company.
It's always crazy to hear about these modern day
right?
monoliths in business to start out in the 18th century. It's crazy. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, he was the fourth largest department store in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on. We're going from the 1900s, around the end of the 1800s to the 1900s, in 1910.
Yeah.
Where we go to Dayton's department store.
Dayton.
So we went from Dayton's Dry Goods to Dayton Department Store.
Okay.
And it becomes, that's what its common name is. It's technically called the Dayton Company, but it's a department store. It's called Dayton's Department Store, so everyone knows it as.
Right.
They make some merchandise. They're very successful. Just like when we talked about, what was the company we talked about the other day? It was very, generous with their money. Dayton's very generous. He likes giving.
That's nice.
Then he starts a radio company.
Because why not?
Because why not? You got all this money. And he was one of only 6 radio stations in Minneapolis.
That's so many.
Right? It's so crazy. This is Target we're talking about. Then in the 1930s, Mr. Dayton sadly died.
Rip Dayton.
But luckily his son, George N. Dayton, named the president of Dayton Company following his father.
So when is Target Dayton coming along?
We're getting there. That comes along in about the 1960s. So your original guess wasn't far off from when it became Target. This is when they got into discount retailing. Now they look for new ways to strengthen relationships with guests. Company leadership recognizes an opportunity to develop and introduce a new kind of mass market discount store. I don't associate Targets with discounts, but whatever. I associate them having a little bit higher prices, but a little bit higher, product than maybe a Walmart. And in 1962, they create the Target icon, the famous Target we all know today. Though it had a couple more rings than it did before. Now
Really?
It's like, 2 rings? This one's got 1, 2, 3 rings and a white dot in the middle instead of the way it is now. And also in 1962, the first Target discount store opens. So now we're called Target Discount Store. Again, not what I associate with Target.
Right.
I associate Target with a little bit higher prices, but again, you're paying for what you get. You go to Target, you get a little bit nicer. Then in 1968, they changed the bullseye logo to the one we know today. The circle with a dot in the middle.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that old.
Simple, easy Target,
Interesting.
1969, their first distribution center opens. So it's the 1960s, and we're already Target. So Target, with the logo we know today, has existed since at least the 1970s. That to me is crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
So, 1975, Target store becomes the #1 revenue producer of the Dayton Hudson Corporation. The Target's becoming wildly successful. It's Target. How can you not be? 1975, they get weekly newspaper advertisements. They're building up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then, in the 1980s, They get a recognition of community involvement. These people are good at community. All these business owners seems to be like that. Nowadays, you don't see that much. But, back then, community involvement was a big thing for these guys, and they always did. Then in 1983, the Daytons, Bruce B. Dayton, I don't know where the relation lies there, and Kenneth B. Dayton retire. They're done.
Oh, they're done.
They've
Good
done
job,
their
guys.
part.
You done good, I think.
1983, they opened a store in Southern California. Then in 1988, the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
They just keep on expanding and keep on expanding. 1989, they opened in the Southeast. Move on to the 1990s.
90s.
In September 30th, 1990, Target Greatland is unveiled in Apple Valley, Minneapolis. 50% larger than a standard Target store. Have you ever seen these? I've never actually gotten to go to one. But they're Targets that have 2 levels and escalators.
Oh, wait. I have been
like
one
a
of
Target
those,
Super
actually.
Center.
So, was that there? Yeah, so there was one in Honolulu when my wife and I went on our honeymoon to Hawaii, which was fantastic. But there was one in Honolulu, and that thing was crazy. Like the escalators, and like they didn't have they didn't have plastic bags either. You had to use like reusable ones. It was a different experience, let me tell you.
Was it? I've heard of them before, and they just sound crazy.
Actually, I think there's 3 levels. I don't think it was even 2.
3 levels of Target.
I think.
What
I
could
could
they
be over
possibly have
exaggerating. It was pretty crazy. Sorry, continue.
Now in 1993, only in 1993 do we finally get to Chicago.
Chicago.
A big city like Chicago. And they didn't get a Target till 1993. Then in 1994, we get the brand slogan we all know today: expect more, pay less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with the expect more, not necessarily with the pay less. I don't know what happened to that. I went to Target the other day and saw a pair of gloves, and they were like $40. I don't know where the pay less comes in that.
Just roll with it. It's fine.
And in 1995, the first Super Target opens. Now, this was the idea that you could go there and get everything you need. This was no longer just like a store with cool stuff. This was all you could, and it's still like that today. I can go to Target and get my, chips, chocolate milk, just listing everything my fiance likes, snacks, bath towels, toys, whatever you need. You can get it at Target. You probably shouldn't get everything at Target. They're a little bit pricier. But again, quality goes up. Now, only in 1999 did the Bullseye dog make his first appearance. Everyone knows the Target Bullseye dog.
Yeah.
White dog.
Bullseye.
Red bullseye around his eye.
His name's Bullseye, I'm pretty sure, right?
What?
His name is Bullseye, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I never knew. He's just very popular. I think it is Bullseye.
Yeah.
And then, now we're into the 2000s, and the Target we grew up with, it's classic. It's a nice, clean place. You go, they put Pizza Huts in it, Starbucks, and they have a snack center opening, Have you ever been to a Target snack center? Slushies and popcorn. They're really known for their popcorn.
Oh, and they had like the soft pretzels? Yeah.
Now here comes the best part. In 2008, only in 2008, did they open a Target in Alaska. It took that long.
Well, that's Alaska, yeah.
Well, it's still crazy. And then 2009, they opened one in Hawaii. That one's a little more understandable.
Yeah.
So that's to about where we are now. It's 2020 and there's more to explore, but that's your basic history of Target. From Dayton's Dry Goods, from an idea to Dayton's Dry Goods. Yeah.
Yeah, Dayton's Dry Goods.
I can't say. Wow, tongue twister. To Drayton. I am not good at this. Dayton Company to Dayton's Supply Market or whatever it was, And then we finally get to Target. Then we get the expect more, pay less, which again, not sure on, but whatever. And they start expanding and expanding. And now they are one of the supermarket giants. I wouldn't put them above Walmart in terms of property and product and just the sheer number of them and the value you get.
Right.
But they're right up there. I mean, who doesn't know what a Target is? I think they're nationwide. I would say even worldwide almost. I don't know if they're worldwide.
I don't know.
I think they're definitely nationwide, though.
Definitely.
It's not like a Sheetz where some people don't know what a Sheetz is,
Well, different areas have their own version.
But I'd say Target is worldwide known, and they've grown pretty big. So, in honor of George M. Dayton, thank you for building Target. I love it. What are your opinions of Target?
Actually, Target holds a near and dear place in my heart, actually.
It's wonderful.
I don't usually go there because, well, the closest one's like 30 minutes away, and I might as well just go to Walmart.
Exactly.
Even like before, like I moved here, like didn't usually go in, but it's a couple of reasons. One, so I was like a kid when I was like really, really young. Sometimes my mom would let me get slushies there at that snack center you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, they were bad slushies, but they were still slushies as a kid.
It's a slushie, you know. You're a kid, you like slushies.
Also, I got my very first Pokemon card from Target. Wow. They were doing like a promo thing.
Oh Pokemon, yeah, they're good about that.
And I got my very first Pokemon card. It was a Mudkip. And that's how like my love for Pokemon got started, because of that one card. So like Target holds a very near and dear place in my heart.
Thank you, Mr. Dayton. If it weren't for you having an idea to build Dayton's dry goods,
I would never have gotten into Japanese.
Yeah, Eddie would be such
game.
A boring two-dimensional person today. So thank you, Mr. Dayton.
Thank you, Mr. Dayton.
You're a real hero.
We should get t-shirts. That's another t-shirt. Thank you, Mr. Dayton, for getting me into...
Thank you, Mr. Dayton, with a picture of like Pikachu. A picture of Mudkip.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you want to get into the sponsor of the week, Shannon, before we get into B-movies?
So, here's our sponsor. You know, it's 2020.
It is 2020. No. It's 2021.
Wow, it's been a couple
Time
years.
Time is flying.
It is 2021.
We're graduating.
And with 2020 behind us, stuff happens now, you know? Everything that happens now, you just kind of... Yeah.
Nothing happens now. What are you talking about?
Happens now. Texas just froze over.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, big
stuff
like is happening.
Catastrophes are happening.
Yeah, catastrophes.
Gotcha. Okay.
How long before a zombie apocalypse? It'll probably never happen, but it's fun to think about. And if a zombie apocalypse happened, would you be prepared?
No.
Well, zombieprepared.org.
Wait, hold on. I do have 10 canned items in my apartment now.
Well, you could survive a little bit. But zombieprepared.org has you covered.
First we got flamethrowers, and now you're hooking me up with... Is this a bunker site or?
No, it's survival kits.
Oh, okay. All right.
They make individual survival kits. I feel like this is a new version of, what was it, the weird websites from last year.
Yeah.
You can get individual survival kits, group survival kits, long run survival kits. Like, they've got everything you need.
Interesting.
They've got a blog to learn stuff.
Ooh.
They've got a questions for a zombie apocalypse preparer. You know, he seems like he's a professional. His name is Bast. Weird.
Ooh, Bast.
And just a page on who they are. They've got newsletters, and you can get all your kits from there. So, zombieprepared.org, we want to be prepared, and we want to promote you. You weren't the first listing when I looked up zombie survival kits, so obviously you're not as well known as you'd like to be. We would like to help with that.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, I don't feel like I'm prepared for a zombie
apocalypse. Neither do I. Like, I could probably survive a little bit, but, you know,
we will
send us some stuff. We'll promote you.
We'll eat the food. We'll try it out.
Yeah.
A lot. Well, maybe not live, but if you do videos, we'll do it. An unboxing. Yeah, there we go.
Zombie survival kit unboxing video.
We might even test some stuff out.
Yeah, you know, we could do that.
We'll probably give you a 5-star rating because we don't know what we're doing. So there you go.
Zombieprepared.org. Hit us up.
Hit us up.
If you guys know this company, you know people who run this company,
oh,
let them know. We seriously would review their products. It would be so much fun.
That would be pretty fun.
And we will promote it, and we've got, you know, the tens of viewers we have, we will promote your product.
Listen, we live in Greene County. What's this place called?
Greene County.
No. I mean the site. What's the website called?
Zombieprepared.org.
Sorry, zombieprepared.org. We live in Greene County, which if you don't know, we're right outside West Virginia. We're basically West Virginia. Like, I'm sure we have a lot of clients of yours in the area, so you definitely would get some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Some customers business off of the advertising. So, anyways, yeah.
Send us a kit. We'll unbox it. We'll review it. We'll give you great ratings. There's no way it can be bad.
We went from, like, memeing this segment to, like, actually pleading with people to find
someone out there has to know someone who knows someone who can find this out. Like, you know, someone eventually is going to know who our sponsor is, and we're going to get that random phone call. Be like,
that would be awesome.
Is this Two Dudes on the Radio?
We like your stuff, please. All right, so on to our next, very last segment with 15 minutes remaining in the show. They're called B-movies for a reason.
And they are. They are called B-movies for a reason.
I think we got an okay run this one.
Yeah.
This time around. It wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible, and it wasn't great. It has that sweet spot of right in the middle.
So, we're talking about Road Wars.
Road War. Now,
which, I don't know why it's even called Road Wars. It should be called Mad Max, the bad remake.
Just give it some knockoff name like Angry Jack or something, you know? Like, forget Mad Max. Just call it some knockoff Mad Max name. Even the main girl looked like what's-her-face from Mad Max. Look at the cover
Yeah.
art for the newest movie.
No, you're
It's
right.
that face paint.
Yeah, it was very, very similar. So we've actually never seen Mad Max, right?
We
You've
have
never
not,
seen it. Yeah,
no.
I've never seen it, but I've seen
But
the
we
trailers.
know enough to know this is a blatant parody knockoff.
Well, close. Are there zombies in Mad Max?
I don't know, but I can't think there was another movie with these type of zombies in it, and it may have been Guns of the Apocalypse. Were they water?
No, those were
'Cause that thing with the water was definitely familiar.
maybe.
Wait, go back. No, we don't have to go back and rewatch.
No, we don't have to
that.
go back.
I take back what I
It might
said.
be a thing. Anyway, so as we've said, this is like a Mad Max, like low budget Mad Max mixed with a zombie movie.
Yeah.
You basically got Road Wars. So I mean, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. It was
Yeah,
made in
it's-
2015,
So not too old, but not too new.
and the movie looked good.
Yeah, and
Like it
you
was
can
not a bad
tell-
movie.
Yeah, you can tell care went into this. Like the people
Oh
that made
yes.
this cared about what they were doing. They were having a great time.
Yeah, and like there's like 6 different vehicles that you see throughout this.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff.
They're not shabby. People put some work into this. Someone had
Yeah,
to
this
know
wasn't
welding.
Guns of the Apocalypse with a cardboard house thrown up with,
Yeah.
glue. This was good stuff.
Yeah, there's like welding involved, like some definite effort and
Oh,
love
yeah.
went into this film, and you can tell. What do we want to do? Start from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
It's hard not to spoil, like, say anything because
right.
I don't want to say there's nothing happens special in this movie, but like, you kind of know what's going to happen based on our description of Mad Max plus zombies.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a crew of characters. It's your basic survival story.
Yeah, there's a crew of characters. They're trying to survive. They have to move because they don't have X resource. This mysterious guy comes along. They might have a cure.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Pretty
It's your
much
basic
that.
survival apocalypse story. But again, it's always neat to see how they portray the apocalypse. Like, look at
Yeah.
Mad Max. There's so many unique ways you can take this. What's their armor made out of? What do their cars look like? What did they do to
Mhm.
their cars? What are their weapons? I always love to see the unique ways. Like, I could watch a billion of these. The stories might be the same, but watching how, like, the uniqueness in the builds they
Mhm.
make, like those cars, you could easily
good
throw those into
cars.
Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
But they were all cool. There wasn't one that I went, what were they thinking with that? Like, they all looked purposeful and cool.
Oh, yeah.
I love the main car. I don't know what it was, but it looked super cool and
The
had
one
a
named Rogue?
flamethrower. Yeah, it had a
Yeah.
flamethrower on top. Like, it was amazing.
It's like a Mustang or something like that. It's really
Yeah, it was super cool.
I think what was I going to say? My biggest critique of this movie is that it feels very disjointed. Not sure, I shouldn't say very. It's disjointed in some parts. So I don't want to get more into it because some of it was spoiled, but like sometimes you won't know what's going on at times because they switch from one scene to another, and there seems to be like no connection between
Right.
those scenes whatsoever. Later, like you piece together, like, oh, okay, like this is what actually happened, but sometimes they don't jump from scene to scene very well. And there's like a flashback, which I didn't realize was a flashback. I thought like the movie like
Yeah,
mistakenly
there are a
took
couple
jump.
scenes where they don't explain that they're in a flashback, and it kind of,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't know.
Especially in like the beginning because it jumps from like 3 different scenes, and you're
Mhm.
like, how do these things relate?
Right.
Like, they don't seem relatable, which they eventually like come together, but it just feels disjointed in some.
My
areas.
problem with this movie is that the characters didn't feel unique enough. We didn't get to know them enough. Like, I wanted to know more about the leader or like the two from the beginning. It just felt like
Yeah.
we didn't get enough personality. Like, these characters could have been really unique. Usually in an apocalypse movie, if
Yeah.
you take the time to develop your characters, each one of them is unique. Like, the one guy had nunchucks.
That
What's
was
up?
pretty cool.
What's up with that?
That guy's
it was
probably my
weird.
favorite
How many
character.
times have you ever seen nunchucks in an apocalypse movie? He was a cool guy. Tell us. I didn't get to see everything. Did they explain why he has nunchucks?
Nope, they don't explain.
just
His name's
kinda
Dak, by the way.
Yeah, he just kind of has them. Tell us why.
He also has like the best joke in the entire movie. I'm not gonna say it here. I'll leave you to experience that
Yeah.
yourself.
So
but
I mean,
he was a good character. I wish they. Yeah, I knew the characters felt generic.
Yeah.
I think like the leader was a like leader type. You have like the one pessimist girl that's like questioning stuff. Like she's
a lot of
she's very
not
generic.
stereotypes is not the word I'm looking for, but what's that word? Like roles, like
Typical roles, cliches.
cliches.
there are
There's a word for that.
stereotypes.
Yeah, but there's a word for it in literature and stuff like that.
Tropes?
Tropes. Yeah, it had your typical apocalypse tropes. Like you said, good shot, the person who can shoot really well. You said the leader.
Well, I don't know about you, but sorry, I'll get into that later. Go ahead.
And the other thing that really bothered me about this movie, I don't know why, was the main guy who comes in the beginning. I don't remember his name again.
You mean the one that has the accent?
Yeah,
British
that
accent?
accent bothered me. I don't know what it was, but it just stuck out so much from everybody else.
I think he was the best developed character out of all of them. Character-wise, I think he was the best. The accent really stuck out.
Yeah,
he has this British accent. You're like, what? But I think it helps.
It sounds
make
so
him
weird.
Stick out.
Yeah.
I don't. I ended up liking it. At first, I wasn't sure, but I ended up liking it.
There were a couple scenes where it was cool, and a couple scenes where I was like, "Please stop talking. This
Fair
just
enough.
sounds weird."
Fair enough.
But they had a lot of cool stuff in it. The
Yes.
shots were all good. Camera work was good. The car chase scenes.
There were a couple shots I thought that could have been better, but yeah, they used a good amount of filters. All the cinematography was good.
The car chases felt good. They action packed.
There are a few areas where you could see B movies. Sorry, someone was talking to me outside. There's a couple. Sorry. There's a couple scenes and shots where you can tell this is a B movie. They don't have the top budget in order to make this film great, but they do what they can.
I think they were using a drone at one point during one of the chase scenes.
Probably
because the cars pass underneath the camera, and unless you have a rig that puts you up in the air, you don't get good shots like that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You remember how I said back to the shooting thing?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how I said my biggest critique was the disjointedness?
Mm-hmm.
My biggest pet peeve, which might even overtake the disjoint part, is the part where the girl, I guess you can see the main character. There really isn't a main character in this movie, but there's kind of one thing.
Girl.
Yeah, the face paint.
Yeah.
Girl. She has the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
You don't mess with a shotgun. She has a shotgun and she keeps missing her target. You don't mess with a shotgun. It's literally sprayed. You kind of point in the general direction and it hits them.
That's true.
You don't mess with a shotgun unless you blatantly try.
The other thing that was got a little weird is that they were at one point there's a scene where they fight off zombies at night. It's not a spoiler. It happens in every apocalypse movie. There's the horde of zombies coming at night, and the leader guy gets up and he's like, okay, we need to be really careful. Count your shots. Don't miss, because they're running low on ammunition.
Right.
Again, a trope. And the one guy gets up there, Dak, gets up there with his machine gun. And the first shot, you're like, hey, he takes one shot, takes out a zombie, fine. Then he starts screaming and burst firing, and you're like, yeah, it takes one shot. In the head, you're a good shot. You have a scope.
Well,
I know you don't miss.
There's a reason for that. So, I think they were trying to portray, there was a mass amount of zombies, but the one scene that they showed, they obviously couldn't, you could tell that they couldn't hire enough people to, have a mass amount of zombies. And so they were trying to, create that with, more sounds. So I think that's why he was spread firing like that.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So another thing, a little warning, there's a moderate amount of swearing in this. They drop some F-bombs just for a warning. It is what it is.
But in terms of everything else, I think this movie keeps it pretty clean.
It is. There's in the beginning, beginning scene, there's this weird few second make out session.
Yeah.
But there's that and another make out session later, but that's it.
But it's not
there's
anything
no
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just kissing. They're not doing anything weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird how they kind of just drove off the road and did it, but whatever.
It could be
moving
worse.
on. I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just think that I have to give credit to this movie for being unique.
Yeah, well...
I mean, it wasn't unique in the fact that it didn't separate itself from a Mad Max style movie, but for what it was and the budget they had, they managed to make some really cool stuff that felt like it belonged there. Sometimes, look at Guns of the Apocalypse, another apocalypse movie. It didn't feel it didn't quite have that feeling. This felt like its own,
there's a lot of love and a lot of effort that went into it, and you could tell the creators really wanted to get this right.
Oh, yeah.
Make it look good.
The only thing I wanted more of was universe building. That's one thing Guns of the Apocalypse did better than this movie. Is in Guns of the Apocalypse, I wanted to know more about this world. In this one, I was just kind of okay, they're zombies and they're running low on water. This is typical stuff. Guns of the Apocalypse built a story who's the Reverend? What's with Katie's powers? This just kind of left me going, okay, I don't want to know more about this world. What I know is enough. There's zombies. They don't like water. Okay. There's some cool cure stuff going on, but it didn't leave me wanting to know more. As bad as Guns of the Apocalypse was, it left me wanting more.
I think that's because Guns of the Apocalypse had a really good villain. In this movie, there really isn't like a villain. There's just like the zombie hordes and
there's
like,
the two drivers that are
and like quote unquote pirates.
Yeah,
like
and
those
they
are
look
the
cool
villain.
too.
Oh,
I love their cars with the spikes all over it.
The acting for them was pretty subpar, but
they were generic.
They look
minion
good
villains.
though.
Oh,
they actually look like they were.
Except I think that one guy was wearing a wig. When he took his goggles off his face and put them on his head, you could tell that was a wig.
I think you're
look
right.
Good.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, is this movie worth watching?
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention.
Maybe this will change my mind.
The ending. I don't want to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad.
Yeah, from what I saw,
it's a bad cliff. Sorry. It's a bad ending. It leaves you disappointed. I'll just leave it at that. Which really like harmed the movie for me. Like, I don't know if they were trying to make like a sequel for this, hopefully, or I'm not sure why they ended it the way they did. It just felt disjointed and just like okay, just kind of dropped.
Maybe they were leaving it open to if they were going to make a sequel or not.
Maybe it seemed like it, but I don't think there's a sequel out there.
Well, we got less than 4 minutes left. Eddie, would you recommend this movie?
If you like the like zombies and like or Mad Max, I would definitely recommend it. But if you're not really into that, then it's up to you. Leave it or take it or leave it. It still had some redeeming moments. Like I said, the characters weren't bad. The acting was decently well throughout. There weren't any horrible actors through it. It actually looked like a movie, like because they put filters on and cinematography and all that. There was a few plot points that were good. So yeah, like I said, if you're into Mad Max or zombie movies, I would definitely recommend it. Either way, they'd be like, eh. If you don't like swearing, don't watch this movie. But
yeah,
it's okay.
I'd recommend it just for the looks of the costumes and the car. Not watch it for the story, but watch it to see the creativity.
Yeah, and just like the love put into it, because you can tell the guys really love.
So where are we ranking this?
Gosh, it's been a while. I forgot. So what was your ranking? Because hold on. So we've seen Inhumanwich.
Mm-hmm. Dave Made a
Maze. What's your third one? Crap.
We watched Orcs.
Yes, Orcs. And we didn't have one last week because that movie was just awful. That shouldn't even be on the list.
Yeah.
So what was we're gonna put this in your rankings?
I'm gonna go from worst to best.
Okay.
Inhumanwich.
Yeah.
Then Orcs.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Road Wars. Then Dave Made a Maze is my best. It was just I love Dave Made a Maze. His special play, not as special as
Jesus Christ.
Vampire. Yeah, not as special as Vampire Hunter, but it holds it's up there. How about yours?
Well, it's definitely Dave Made a Maze is best, and then Inhumanwich is worst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether Orcs. I don't know if I think Orcs is better or worse. Because there are a lot of things in Orcs that I liked. I think we're gonna go from worst to best. Inhumanwich, Road Wars, Orcs, Dave Made a Maze.
That's fair. Orcs was pretty good.
Orcs was.
I just liked the setting and the look of this movie. I like apocalypse apocalypse-esque stuff.
Fair enough. I can see you putting it above Orcs, but I just really love the humor and the story and the characters more.
That's
in
fair.
Orcs, and I think I put it over the top of Road Wars.
That's fair.
Wow, that's the show, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate everyone. We just really appreciate all of our listeners. Mr. Shaner, thank you for commenting and just being a great feedbacker.
Yeah.
Jeb Brady, I see you liking all of our Instagram posts.
Yeah, Jeb, we love
really
you.
Appreciate it. There's also someone else that really likes all of our posts. Oh, crap, who is it? This is going to kill me. Oh, Amanda Latte, you usually do. So thank you.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
All you people.
And thank you for listening. How should we end this, Shaner?
With a piece of solemn wisdom. Be quiet enough to hear a mouse fart.
I forgot about that.
That's our wisdom to you. When you need to relax, be quiet enough to hear a mouse fart.
That was a really bad joke. But not bad. It was a bad joke in that movie, yeah. Good night, everyone.
Peace out.